What is up, Poppy fans in the Ring Army? My name is Nized or Anthony, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have for you all another podcast / interview with Mob employee Anthony Madeira. We talked about Poppy playtime and the animated series Adventure Mode. Before we begin, if you are new here to the channel and are a fan of Poppy playtime, make sure to show support by liking the video and subscribing with notifications on to not miss any Poppy playtime news. Thank you. With all that said, enjoy the video. So to start things off, I want to thank you, Anthony, for taking the time off your day today to join us. It's such an honor to talk to you, and hopefully we get to learn more about you today.
Yeah, man, it's awesome to be here. I really appreciate you having me on.
And today we're going to be getting to know you and your history with Mob, which it can be very exciting to talk about. So the first question... No. Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so the first question, what was the first thing you got to work on when you first joined Mob Entertainment?
The first thing I worked on at Mob, that did not get released, and I don't think I could talk about it. But the first thing that I worked on that actually came out at Mob was Adventure Mode, which at that time was owned and produced by Mob. Yeah,
I think not that many people know about that. I'm glad it came back with an episode 2 or an upcoming episode. That's very exciting.
Yeah, we're working on it now. Outside of Mob, but yeah, we are working on that now. I think it did get some traction when it came out originally, but there was just some unfortunate timing stuff that kind of happened. So yeah. Yeah,
that's understandable. Since you can't really talk about the first thing you got to work on Mob, Poppy related, what was the second thing that was public?
The second thing that I worked on that was public would have been one of the Chapter 3 trailers, I think. Which one? I think I worked on the last 2 trailers that came out. So not I wasn't working on Poppy yet when the teaser trailers came out. So the first one, obviously not, that came out like a full year before even the second teaser trailer. But then that second teaser trailer, the one that was more cinematic, I was not working on Chapter 3 yet then either. That I was still working on the animation stuff at Mob at the time for YouTube. And so the first thing that came out probably was the trailer that revealed Dog Day. I think that would have been the first thing that I worked on, Poppy related. Yeah. The
first gameplay, the gameplay trailer for Chapter 3.
Mm-hmm.
The one that got everyone excited.
Yeah, I got thrown right into the deep end there, but that's how I like to work anyways. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, congrats on that. Everybody loved that trailer.
Yeah, thank you. We made that trailer in like literally 1 week. Like,
oh wow.
Usually trailers have, I mean, it really depends on the trailer, but it's usually much longer than that. I mean, at least 2 weeks, but like it really should be like a month of planning, or like even 2 months from like the first time that the script is starting to get written. But that trailer, that one was such a scramble because of the game delay that happened. So
right.
Yeah,
I didn't know trailers came with scripts. I thought like people just slapped. Obviously, there's some planning, but I didn't know there was a script. For it.
I can't say for like everyone, like what everyone's process is, but for the way that I've always done things, at Mob at least, it's been, we script out everything. Well, I guess, I mean, at the very least, you have like a demo file where you'll kind of map out the timing and you'll write down what's happening during each shot and stuff like that. So it may not be like a Google Doc script, but there is a script for it, either way.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now for the second question, do you have a favorite animation or creation of yours within Mob?
I'd say it's like really close for me. If we're counting it, then I would say Adventure Mode, because that was, under Mob at the time. But if we're not counting it, then I would probably say the YNAB trailer that came out, I think last month now. Time's flying by. Yeah. Holiday stuff is going crazy, but I think that was about a month ago.
Yeah, around a month ago. And yeah, I can see why Adventure Mode is your favorite thing, because of course, the trailer, or the pilot was very successful and very funny, by the way. I love the humor you guys put into that. Very great writing. That. Yeah, and I can't wait for episode 2, like I always tell you. And for the YNAB trailer, again, congrats on that. And that actually brings me to my third question. How do you feel about the amazing reaction that the community showed when your YNAB trailer released?
I mean, obviously it was awesome. Since like starting to work on Poppy with Chapter 3, I think all I've really wanted to do is like make stuff that resonates with the people that love this franchise. I've always been like into Poppy since it first came out. I knew the guys that originally like made Poppy like a long time ago, before I even worked at Mob. And so I was always like very, very interested in it, but like since starting to work on it, all I want to do is just make stuff that the people who love this like really can enjoy. Like the fan base is the only reason that this can even be my job in the first place. So I want to make stuff that honors like the past of the games while also looking forwards to like the exciting new things that we could do that still fit the vibe. YNAB was the first time that I got to control an entire video put out by Mob from like the first letter on a page to the very final frame that actually, gets put out there. So because of that, seeing people react like so positively to something that I felt like it was like kind of my baby in a way. I don't know. Like it was like something that I like made, in that sort of way. I don't know. Seeing that reaction, it felt like confirmation that I like really understand the community and I can like honor the opportunity that they've given artists at Mob like me by their support of the games and their interest in everything that we're doing. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much. I mean, it's hard to put into words, but it's just a very, very positive feeling. It's just so cool. I run out of words.
No, it's understandable. I'm glad everybody enjoyed it because one, it was very like cinematic. I know Mob likes to do that a lot, and that's why when the trailer came out, I wasn't expecting any gameplay or anything, but just the cinematic shots of like, of course, YNAB, the player's flashlight. It was just so well put together. And you said you were like the head of the animation, so like you were like the main lead, like the director or like that.
Yeah, so that for that video specifically, I actually did everything on that. Obviously, I didn't make the environments and stuff like that. Those are made by the game team already. The character model, the fur simulation on YNAB, that stuff is done by the game team. But as far as like that specific trailer goes, that was just like completely done by me, like from beginning to end. So yeah, it was like it felt very personal in that way, I guess.
Yeah. It shows that you really care about how to show Chapter 4, especially with the new direction Mob is going for Chapter 4, right? Like the more darker path, which is very much appreciated, by the way. I love how you guys are going for that direction. So that trailer was like a very good look and taste on what you guys are aiming for next year. Yeah,
I definitely wanted to kind of show off or give that kind of vibe. Obviously, we haven't shown off everything Chapter 4 related yet, not by a long shot, but it was really good to be able to like kind of capture that darker vibe even without going too deep into like, oh, there's blood and guts everywhere or anything like that. just sort of just the general vibe of it. Like you mentioned, Mob is a very cinematic in everything that they release.
Right.
And I feel like I'm also very much that way, which is why I think I fit very well at Mob. So I wanted to just kind of take that sort of flair and style and just infuse it into the video and kind of give that darker vibe to it, generally speaking.
And you nailed it, I gotta say.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
The next question: who is your favorite Poppy character and why?
I'm biased, so I want to get that out of the way. But it's YNAB for me. I would have said that before the trailer came out too, though. I just want to say that, but I can't really say anything.
There you go.
But I'll just say, I think this has already been said, but I'll just say that he is just such a goober, and I just love him. I just love him. He is my favorite so much. And yeah, I'm afraid of saying anything else, so I'm just going to leave it there.
So he's like your favorite character out of everybody, like in the universe so far? Like out of all the 3 chapters or 4
out
chapters?
Of everybody that's out, that everybody knows about. That out of everyone that I'm allowed to talk about, YNAB is my favorite.
Got it.
That's what I'll say.
Okay, next question. Do you have a favorite segment within any of the chapters so far? For example, like the Miss Delight section, the Playhouse, PJ's section, etc.
Again, I can't say too much, but like from the way it's looking right now, my favorite segment is easily in Chapter 4. Yeah, I just don't want to say too much about that, though, I guess. But out of the first 3 chapters, I would probably say you might cringe when I say this, I don't know. I'd probably say the catnap boss fight. Some people might think that's like a bit weird or ironic, given the way like that was at launch. But a couple patches later, I think the game team did such a good job at making that fight so much easier to understand. And if you go back and play it in its current state, I actually think it's like really polished and really fun and tense, and it does a really good job of balancing all that stuff. And I think it also stands out for being like very different from most of the encounters in the other games, where it's mostly chase sequences. I think the closest thing you would have to it is maybe like musical memory, but even that's like very on rails and kind of scripted, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah, I just think that's got to be one of my favorite moments in the games.
Yeah, the boss fight, or what people call it, an encounter, most more like
Yeah.
It's not really a boss fight, but yeah, I can see why you like it. Many people struggle with it, but you guys have it easy now. When we had, I can say this, when we had early access, it was so much harder. There was like no direction. We just had to basically guess what to do. So you guys have to be grateful for what you have right now for that.
Yeah, that sequence got tightened up so much after launch. I was really glad that the game team kept like the game team kept polishing that up after launch, because it was probably the area that needed it the most. But by the end, I genuinely think it became like one of my favorite parts of that whole game. So
they did a great job fixing it and improving it. Now, moving away from Poppy Playtime a little bit, now let's talk about your pilot, Adventure Mode.
Mm-hmm.
How and what was the process of animating and writing the pilot like?
So at the time we were working on YouTube content for Mob, and we had the opportunity from Mob to make an animated Minecraft series that was designed for like long form episodes. So obviously before then they had been doing like the shorts and stuff like that, but they wanted us to make like an actual like full length series with full length episodes and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I actually got into animation and YouTube stuff in general by watching and then eventually making Minecraft animations. From the time I was like 12 years old, I was making Minecraft animations. So it was pretty wild to me that it's like, oh, I'm moving out to St. Louis and this is my actual job now. I'm showing up to an office every day and making Minecraft animations, as my job. That was just wild. Before we knew what it was going to be, our internal name was just Mine Shinema. Mm-hmm. Because we had always intended to mix together like that, like actual gameplay style with like manual animation. So like how in Adventure Mode they'll kind of move like they're actually moving in Minecraft, but then sometimes they'll like do something like they're a regular animation. That was like the very first thing that we had planned out, because we were like, how are we gonna make this? How are we gonna be able to make this much animation? So it had to be a very simple style, and we wanted to kind of lean into our limitations, kind of like how with Toy Story. I don't know if you know this story, but the reason that they made Toy Story about toys is because it was the only thing that they could like animate at the time. They just didn't have the technology. So we kind of wanted to do a similar thing where we were like, here's our limitations, let's lean into that. And but the idea was it was going to be like an old school Minecraft machinima video, but it's mixed with animation. So we called it Mine Shinema, which is really lame looking back, but we just needed an internal name. From like super early on, we had the basic concept of like, oh, human meets monsters and learns that they can actually be nice. And then not long after that, we had Stephanie, Bubbles, Bonehead, and Norman. They did kind of change a bit as we went through like writing, but we had that cast pretty early on. And then after that, we began to build out the world. And at that point, it was just kind of like go. Like, we had a little bit, we had a couple weeks to write the script, and then it was just make it happen. Honestly, it was such a blur. So it's kind of hard to remember exactly like what it was like while we were making it. But I'd say it's still like a relatively basic concept at its core. Like Adventure Mode is something like earth-shattering, but continuing through episode 2 and then beyond that, the world expands a lot more, and there's actually a decent amount of depth there. So I'm really excited to explore that.
Interesting. And you say after episode 2, you guys are gonna do more exploring. So is that like kind of like a little tease that episode 3 might be a thing in the future?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. That's our plan right now for sure.
Yeah, especially since you guys are on your own now, you guys have more creative freedom, I would say, right?
It wasn't like we did. I mean, we had creative freedom in episode 1. To be honest, it wasn't like Mob was limiting us or anything like that. Mob was very gracious with the production of episode 1 and stuff like that. I am still glad that we're getting to continue it on our own, just because I don't think it really fits into what Mob is doing right now. So I think this is the only way that we could continue to make it. So I'm very excited about that. But it also means like we obviously have full-time jobs and stuff like that we have to get done, and then we're doing Adventure Mode on the side, so it's a little more challenging this time around. But we also have a lot of stuff in place now, like our whole workflow and the rigs and all that stuff that's also already there, so hopefully that stuff kind of balances out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to what you guys are gonna release, and hopefully that goes well for you guys. Try not to overwork yourselves or like that. Now for the next question, how was it like, or how is it like voicing Norman?
I have done I've done voice acting like very small amounts, just for personal projects and stuff that never actually like got out to see the light of day, I guess. But I am very much not a practiced voice actor. I cannot overstate how I do not know how to do voice acting, even still. And I have like so much to learn about it, but I really enjoy it. I think I'm kind of very much a theater kid, so I feel like it fits right into my personality, I guess. But because I didn't know it's kind of funny, because I didn't know what I was doing on episode 1, I ended up like totally blowing my voice doing all the lines for episode 1. By the end, there were maybe like, I don't know. Norman does talk the most in that episode, but it's not that much. It's pretty short. But there were like 3+ hours of takes that I had done when everything was said and done. I did way too many voice line takes, and I just destroyed my voice on that first episode. So that was a big lesson that I learned, is to keep it simple. Anyways, I learned a lot doing that, and I enjoyed it so much. And based on the recording that I've done for episode 2, I think I've improved a lot already. And I'm just excited to keep doing that.
You say that you're not experienced, but you did so well in the pilot. Like, you sounded like you had so much fun recording. Like, you can tell, especially with the other actors as well. Like, you guys all sound natural. You guys sound like you do that every single day, but especially with the comedy timing and the deliveries. Like, that actually surprised me when you say you're not experienced. I'm like, you sounded so good in the pilot.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, everyone on our team was like, everyone that did it, voice acting and everything like that, everyone just so talented. I'm so happy that even though not all of them are working at Mob anymore, I get to like continue working with them, making fun stuff together, because like they're just so talented. Like, they can all just slot into anything and just figure it out and make it work. Voice acting or animation or, you know, whatever it is. Like, I'm just so over the moon to get to work with, you know, the Adventure Mode team, because yeah, like you said, I mean, they just I don't know, it's amazing. It really is amazing to me, because like, you know, no one else on that team other than Micah and Avalon as well, but Elijah and Madeline especially have like some voice acting experience, but you know, still, again, like not a lot, and just anything that they jump into, they just, I don't know, they just nail it. So everyone is just, I don't know, so talented. And that's like everyone that was at Mob at the time of making Adventure Mode, and then everyone that is still at Mob today is like, I don't know, they're just like a magnet for talent. I don't know how they do it.
It's very impressive, yeah. It's like unbelievable. And I can't wait to see what you guys go for episode 2. I know you guys have like the comedy down, like I said, and like the story, or it seems like you guys know what story or world environments you want to, you know, portray. So yeah, like you said, for voice acting, not just for you, but the whole entire cast, you guys are improving, you guys are getting better and better, and it's just going to make the rest of the series just overall great. So I'm looking forward to it.
I certainly hope so. Yeah, thank you.
For the next question, can we expect more story elements from you and the team for Adventure Mode episode 2, like different takes on both the animation and the story?
Episode 2 is like it's pretty different from episode 1. We tried to take the good elements of episode 1, like the physical comedy and I mean, I think people, I'm not going to list off everything, but we tried to take the good elements from episode 1 and then leave behind some of the more iffy ones. I think story-wise is probably the main way that it's different. It's like a lot more focused, and I think hopefully it lands much better with people. We tried to keep like the high energy while also leaving room for characters and plot to breathe, because I think that was pretty, I mean, we knew it too, but that was like the main issue with episode 1. We also plan in the future on doing like some relatively varied episodes, though, like different storytelling styles. I don't want to say too much, but like we've thrown out some pretty wild ideas as far as like, let's make a one-off episode where they're, you know, it's this style of storytelling, or it's like this, you know, a parody of this thing, or whatever it is. The main overarching story of Adventure Mode comes first for us, but yeah, we do want to experiment with different storytelling styles and stuff like that. As for the animation, since Micah isn't animating on Adventure Mode anymore, we're mainly looking to just match that same style and energy and stuff from episode 1. He's just like he's so good. He's such a good animator, and he's just so funny. He just like naturally knows faces and poses and things that are just always going to make you laugh. And his sense of timing and slapstick and everything is so good. We're trying to kind of work together to emulate that and fill his shoes. So I don't expect the animation style to change for episode 2. I think that was one of people's favorite parts, and we don't want to fix something that isn't really broken. But we definitely will like experiment with wacky visuals and animation in the future. Once again, especially I have like thrown out some very like weird and wacky ideas in that regard. But I think for episode 2, as far as animation goes, we mainly just want to honor the style from episode 1 and make sure that it really feels like the same show in terms of animation. And I think that kind of answers that.
Okay. So yeah, I'm happy to see you guys are trying to experiment more and more as the series goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's always good to try out new things, like what do you guys have to lose, right? And for the final question for you today, can we expect more awesome work from you within Mob, whether it's for a chapter or even for fun?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm currently working on stuff at Mob that you should see pretty soon. I'm always like afraid of using the word soon, actually, because whenever I say something like that, like if it's in the Discord or something, everyone's like, "Wow, it's coming tomorrow, guys!" And it's like, hold on, I did not say it was coming tomorrow. Calm down. I just said soon, right? But yeah, there's stuff that you should see very soon that I worked on. You'll see a constant output of my work coming out of Mob, but you'll see more stuff soon, and I think it's coming together to look pretty cool. I obviously work more on the marketing side of things. So mostly what you see is like those content pieces like trailers and stuff like that. But as far as like what not just I'm making at Mob, but like what the game team is making at Mob, I think we're cooking up like some very special stuff right now, like some very cool stuff. I think people are, I don't know, I don't want to say too much. I just think people are going to be very excited. I don't know what to say. A little like there's a part of me where it's like I'm afraid of saying too much because people get so. They like psychoanalyze like every single word that people say, and I don't know. I just want to like let things come out when they come out, and let people experience that the way that that the schedule's been like planned out for people to experience things. And then when things do come out, I'm just like so freaking tapped into every part of the community. I read like so many YouTube comments, like Twitter threads. I watch the Discord so much. Maybe sometimes I like watch social media stuff too much actually, but like I am so like tapped into the community response and everything like that. And for me, that's like what drives me forwards is the community feedback. I really feel like it's sort of there's very much a relationship between Mob and the community where we genuinely just couldn't do what we do without the community at all. Especially in my case, I know I couldn't. I feel like I wouldn't have anything to work with if I didn't have the community to kind of bounce off of. So yeah, keep getting excited, everyone. I love it. It genuinely motivates us and it drives us forward so much, especially me.
Yeah, the Poppy Playtime community is one loyal, lovable, and crazy community. And I'm telling you right now, please tease them because people always like to analyze every single thing. That's why I can't really tweet about some stuff because people always think I'm teasing something. And I'm like, no, I'm not only in the Poppy Playtime community, right? Like people analyze everything I say, especially when I do the vague tweets, That's what people are like saying, oh, nice, said this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no.
My favorite thing is when I see someone in the partner community start like tweeting, saying cryptic things or whatever, and I'm like, did we tell them that we're doing something? And I check the Discords and stuff, and I'm like, no, I think they're just trolling. But everyone is like, oh my gosh, there's something coming out. It's so funny to me. I love it. I do tease things. It's just at very strategic moments. You know what I mean? Where it's like, maybe I'm trolling, maybe I'm not, but I do like to tease things. It's just, no. There's specific times to tease things, I guess.
Right. And I can say like nobody trusts me anymore in the Poppy Playtime community, which I don't blame them. I mean, I did do like the hour of troll earlier this year, so I guess that's why people don't believe what I say anymore. Which is both a good thing and bad thing,
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, it's a good thing. People would be like, oh no, he's just trolling at this point and something actually happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Poppy Playtime community has your guys' back. I see it every single day. I love talking to the Poppy Playtime community, and whenever a dev like you or Tyler shows up, everybody gets excited. So I hope, you guys see that. Everyone loves seeing you guys pop up, especially, us partners as well. We appreciate everything you guys do, the marketing team, the animation team, etc. And we'll see what happens on chapter 4 next year.
Yeah. Thank you, Naz. I really appreciate it.
All right, I think that's everything I have today. Thank you again, Anthony, for joining us. Really appreciate your time, and I'm glad I got to know you better today. Hopefully, we get to talk soon again, or more in general.
Yeah, that was awesome. I really appreciate it. You have a good day.